Hi, I'm Andy Stanley. Isn't it true that nothing divides us quite like politics? But do you know why nothing divides us quite like politics? Well, it's because nothing divides us quite like fear. And unfortunately, the current political climate is fueled by so much fear. And as you know, you can raise a lot of money peddling fear, right? But here's a question for you. What exactly do we fear? At the end of the day, isn't it true? At the end of the day, we all fear pretty much the same thing. We fear loss. Loss of control, loss of opportunity, loss of wealth, loss of the future for our children, or the loss of our freedom. In 2020, there was a lot of fear to be leveraged, but there was a lot of opportunity as well. And Christians in particular, we were presented with an unprecedented opportunity to model for our communities and for our nation what it looks like to disagree politically and love unconditionally. It was an opportunity to leverage the Apostle Paul's words when he said that we're to shine like stars in the sky. But unfortunately, I'm afraid we did more complaining and criticizing than shining. And as a result, the evangelical church in America lost a lot of its shine. Instead of coming together to serve our fear-filled communities, we chose sides politically and we participated in the problem rather than modeling and providing answers. And while actions don't always tell the whole story, our reactions most certainly do. And the church's reaction to recent cultural and political turmoil revealed what evangelicals value most and fear most. We value winning. We fear losing, just like everybody else. And the problem is that is such a far cry from how Jesus instructed us to live and to respond. So I think it's time we talk about it. My heart is so broken over the division, not just the division in our nation. My heart is broken over the division in the church. Division, think about it. The one thing Jesus prayed that we would not give into. Division was the thing that Jesus was most concerned about as it related to the future of the church, but it's the one thing we seem to be completely unconcerned about. Difference is inevitable, but division is a choice. And we've chosen poorly. We've chosen to follow in the path of the current cultural and political divide rather than coming together to serve as the conscience of our nation. Once again, we have followed rather than influenced culture. Jesus knew what we can't seem to get our heads around, that when the church chooses a side, as defined by any political party, when the church chooses a side, we've sided against people on the other side. And in that moment, we elevate our potentially flawed political views over yous, the you beside you, the you that lives across the street from you, and the you that's nothing like you. But, and this is the good news, it doesn't have to be this way. And it hasn't always been this way. In fact, there is another way. And once upon a time, it was called the way. In my latest book, Not In It to Win It, I call us to I call the church to re-embrace the version of faith that against all odds, flipped the script in a world where the teaching of Jesus was initially considered weak and certainly unsustainable. I challenge pastors and leaders and Christians of every brand to begin evaluating their politics through the filter of our faith rather than creating versions of faith to support our politics. Christianity shaped Western civilization once. I believe it can again. Not because we're out to win anything. The church is not here to win, just the opposite. By every human measure, our Savior lost on purpose.